Have a nice day. Today is Tuesday, 13th of February 2024. This day is celebrated as International Day every year on 13th of February. This day is dedicated to promoting the importance of self-love and wellness. It's a day to reflect on the beauty of the natural world and to connect with ourselves. 13th of February is also celebrated as National Women's Day in India. It's the birth anniversary of actually the Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India. She was born on the February 13, 1879, and was the first woman governor of India and an active participant in the Indian national movement. Sarojini Naidu, whose birth anniversary is 13 February 1879 up to 2nd March 1949, was an Indian political activist and a poet who served as the first governor of United Province. After the India's independence, she played an important role in the Indian independence movement against the British Raj. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Rwanda army are using surface-to-air missiles in East DR Congo, says United Nations. Tagged to the report are two aerial images in which a six-wheeled armored vehicle is visible with the radar and a missile launcher system on the roof. Suspected Rwandan Defense Force SAM was fired at a United Nations observation drone in DRC on last Wednesday. The Rwandan army, supporting M23 rebels in an escalating conflict in eastern DR Congo, is using sophisticated weapons such as surface-to-air missiles, according to a United Nations document seen by AFP on February 12. The Hindu newspaper also states that gas booming for United Nations Conference of Party 29 host Azerbaijan. Following the United Nations Conference of Party 28 climate talks in oil-fueled Dubai, the Conference of Party 29 conference is headed for the historic cradle of oil, Azerbaijan, which is in the midst of the gas boom. The country, a member of OPEC Plus, has a long history with the hydrocarbons, which make up half of its economy. The Hindu newspaper also states that talks collapsed for most March to Delhi. Center did not offer any assurance on MSP guarantee demand. Says leaders, Delhi police imposed Section 144 for a month to prevent the gatherings. Police persons stand guard at the barricaded Shambhu barrier, Punjab-Haryana border, ahead of the farmers' call for the Delhi Chalo protest march scheduled for February 13. As a 5-hour-long second round of meeting held on Monday with the Union Cabinet Minister Piyush Goyal and Arun Munda in Chandigarh also failed. The farmers belonging to the Samyukt Kisan Morcha, non-political SKM-NP, a splinter group of Samyukt Kisan Morcha SKM, have decided to continue with the Delhi Chalo protests on the planet on Tuesday. The leaders said the protest will begin at 10 a.m. Going to the Indian Express newspaper states that maintenance for Muslim women under personal law or CRPC. Supreme Court seeks amicus curiae views on February 9. A bench of Justice B.V. Nagaranthana and Augustine George Maish appointed senior advocate Gaurav Agarwal as the amicus curiae for the matter. The Supreme Court will deal with the question after an amicus curiae appointed by it gives his views on it. Indian Express also states that Delhi Chalo as a tractor convoy gather. Punjab farmers say barricade is no big deal. The convoy strategically positioned near the Hansali Gurdwara Sahib, approximately 50 km from the Sambhu barrier, was patently awaiting the outcome of crucial meeting in Chandigarh before embarking on its march in the morning. Indian Express also states that Abdul Malik, blamed for Haldwani violence, gave free legal aid to those facing eviction by railways. The mosque and madrasa whose demolition spiraled into the violence last week were run by Malik. State police have so far refrained from commenting on his whereabouts. Malik is a prominent figure in the local community. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that eight ex-Indian Navy personnel lizard Prime Minister Modi carries a visit to Qatar on February 14. Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the Emir of Qatar Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani during the Conference of Party 28 in United Arab Emirates on December 1st. New Delhi has freed eight former Indian Navy personnel who were sentenced to death after being detained in August 2022 on undeclared charges, with the New Delhi announcing on Monday that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Doha this week to discuss ways to strengthen bilateral relations. News Times also states that Odisha court orders Indonesian ship owner to pay 100 crore rupees a bond for its release. Indonesian cargo ship MV Divi arrived at a partnership port from the Gresik port in Indonesia on November 29. A court in Odisha on Monday ordered the owners of the Indonesian cargo ship that has been anchored to the Paradip port since the December last year following seizure of 22 kg of cocaine to furnish 100 crore rupees bond and 10 crore rupees bank guarantee for its release. The Times also states that Assam is planning to bring a robust legislation on a polygamy. UCC CM Sharma Biswa Sharma on Monday stated that his government is planning to bring a robust legislation banning polygamy and implementation of the Uniform Civil Code UCC in the state. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the Guwahati earlier in this month. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, lower borrowing is to boost growth, ease inflation. Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das. He also said that the Reserve Bank of India is confident of handling the increased foreign inflows into the Indian government debit once they are listed on JP Morgan's bond index. Reserve Bank of India's Governor Shaktikanta Das. RCAP administrator opposes Rs 118 crore payout to Reliance General Insurance officials. RGIC is a subsidiary of RCAP, part of the Anil Ambani Reliance Group, which is going through the insolvency process. RCAP and pledged into entire equity holding in RGIC in favor of the IDBI trusteeship services against dues guaranteed by the company. India's industrial production grows 3.8% in December 2023. The data released by the National Statistical Office (NSO) show that the manufacturing sector's output grew 3.9% in December 2023, up from 3.6% in the year-ago month. India's industrial production grew 3.8% in December 2023, according to the official data released on Monday. Factory output measured in terms of the Index of Industrial Production (IIP) had witnessed a growth of 5.1% in December 2022. Index of the Industrial Production at 5.1% in January, retail inflation at 3-month low, factory output at 3.8% in December. The retail inflation rate based on the Consumer Price Index combined slowed in January after having risen for the previous 2 months. Retail inflation slipped to a 3-month low of 5.1% in January, primarily due to the lower food prices after having risen to a 4-month high in December. Data released by the National Statistical Office on Monday showed separately released data by National Statistical Office showed that the factory output as measured by the Index of Industrial Production rose to 3.8% in December from 2.4% in the previous month, but was lower than 5.1% in the year-ago period. The retail inflation rate based on the Consumer Price Index slowed in January after having risen for the previous 2 months, while it marked the 52nd month of the retail inflation, staying above the 4% mark in the 4 plus minus 2% band of medium-term inflation target set by the Reserve Bank of India. The core inflation non-food, non-fuel segment fell to 50-month low of 3.6% in January. Going towards the world news, including Nepal's Prime Minister Wade snub to Supreme Court as 2 pro-monarchy groups unite. UNRWA chief says he has no intention to resign. Milder heat waves more deadly in long term. India's study finds Yemen's Houthi rebels suspected of missile attack targeting a ship in the Bab al Mandeb Strait. Uh, Revolving door of Pakistan politics, or who will comment? Will Biden and Trump face one another in presidential debates? There's no commitment yet. Going towards the science and technology tech news of the week, Bard is now Gemini. Open Artificial Intelligence CEO seeks $1 trillion in funding and more. Tech news of the week, second week of the February 2024, Google has officially renamed its artificial intelligence chatbox from Bard to Gemini, and Open Artificial Intelligence CEO Sam Altman is seeking $7 trillion in funding. Bard is now officially Gemini. The road is to iOS 18, highlighting 5 years of major iPhone software updates. It's been a long road from iOS 13 to iOS 18. We charted the major changes for Apple's mobile OS over the last 5 versions. iOS 18 hype is real, but first we are exploring the iOS evolution to the point. Al India Institute of Medical Science UK Varsity Impact for Research in Head Neck Cancer. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia presided over the signing of the collaboration agreement aimed rising cancer cases. AIMS New Delhi Monday signed a collaboration agreement with the University of Liverpool, UK, for translational research in head and neck cancer. So far, the letter of intent has been put together, where the both institutes have signed to work together and reduce the cancer mortalities. At last, there is a famous quotation said by Rabindranath Tagore, whose birth anniversary is 7 May 1861 up to 7 August 1941, was a Bengali polymath who was active as poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, educationist, and a painter. During the age of Bengali Renaissance, he reshaped the Bengali literature and music as well as the Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh, and beautiful poetry Gitanjali, became in 1913 the first European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Tagore's poetic songs were wavered in a spiritual and mercurial, while his elegant prose and magical poetry were widely popular in the Indian subcontinent. He was fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, also referred to as the Bard of the Bengal. Tagore was known by the sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswa Kobi. Tagore modernized Bengali art by spurning rigid classical forms and resisting linguistic strictures. His novels, stories, songs, dance, dramas, and essays spoke to topics political and personal. Gitanjali's song offering Gora, Fair Faced, and Kari Bari, The Home and the World, are his best known works, and his verse, short stories, and novels were acclaimed or planned for their lyricism, colloquialism, naturalism, and unnatural contemplation. His compositions were chosen by two nations as national anthems, India's Jana Gana Mana and Bangladesh's Amar Sonar Bangla. The Sri Lankan national anthem was also inspired by his work. His songs Banglar Mati, Banglar Chol has been adopted as the state anthem of West Bengal. Mr. Rabindranath Tagore says a famous quotation. He says that the most important lesson that a man can learn from life is not that there is pain in this world, but that it is possible for him to transmute it into the joy. He also says that everything comes to us that belongs to us if we have created the capacity to receive it. Okay, thank you.